Morning. We're moving on now to chapters 13 and 14. Chapter 13 deals with playwriting and dramaturgy. In contemporary theater, the playwright is the theater artist that is the most removed from the play production process. The play is written, the play has been taken on by a theater company and they are working on it. They are turning it into a performance. The playwright typically is not involved with any of that. Their job is over. They've written the play. This has not always been the case. We will see that in ancient Greek theater, the playwright was actively involved in the play production process. William Shakespeare was actively involved in the production of his plays. Moliere, actively involved in the production of his plays. Now, playwrights aren't there. Playwrights aren't present for that. When a playwright sets out to write a play, well, prior to that, playwrights have to have inspiration. They have to be inspired to actually put words on paper. And the inspiration can come from a number of places: personal experience, another work of literature, a poem, a passage from the Bible, current events, war, political strife, uh, um, epidemics, pandemics. All of this serves as inspiration for playwrights. Now, the act of writing a play varies from playwright to playwright. And what I mean by act, how they approach the writing of a play. Some playwrights um, go through a process. August Wilson is a playwright we'll talk about when we talk about contemporary theater in the US, African American playwright. But he says that when he started to write a play, he's dead now, but when he was in the process of writing, sometimes he would just start writing without knowing who was talking, just writing dialogue, someone saying something, and then eventually he started putting names and characters to these voices. Other playwrights are more technical. Marcia Norman says that she is a playwright who follows structure. She feels that if you haven't established your given circumstances in the first 8 minutes of the play, you're going to lose your audience. In other words, the first 8 minutes of exposition has to be on top of it. You have to let your audience know everything, what's going on, at least the who, what, when, where. Um, Other playwrights are inspired by music. Paula Vogel, another contemporary playwright that we will talk about, says she likes to listen to music, and a particular song could inspire her. So she will listen to it over and over and then start writing. So the process of writing varies from playwright to playwright. Ultimately, what a playwright wants, of course, is for someone to read his play, their play. When a playwright writes a play, they write it, and sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes playwrights are motivated to really write and get it on paper or in a document as soon as possible. I have to say this. After they get it to a point where they feel that it's finished, the most important thing that they can do is to have someone read it to them so they can hear it. And beyond that, uh, um, having people actually put it up on its feet and see people moving around, even with the script in the hand at this point, but seeing how that dialogue works, how it could possibly work on stage. Playwrights then submit their plays to to theater companies, playwriting festivals. in the hope that someone will read the play and think it's a good fit for a theater company, or it is a play that is outstanding and should be celebrated. Before all of this, I want to backtrack. Playwrights have to protect their property. This is their property. Once they write it, it should belong to them. So, um, finding ways to copyright your play is very important. Find a way to copyright it. I don't want to tell the back in the day story, but back in the day when we were typing plays on a typewriter on paper, we would get a very finished, clean copy of the play, put it in an envelope, take it to the post office, certify it, mail it to ourselves, and never open it. That's our proof that it's our play, and it has been our property since that certification date on the envelope. That's one way. Anyway, getting your play out there to be read is very important. And finally, having that play brought to full production is just the pinnacle. That's what we strive for as playwrights. We want someone to perform our play and someone to respond to it. Theater companies, larger theater companies, professional companies, usually have someone on staff who is responsible for receiving those submissions of plays, reading them, and determining whether or not that play is good or is a good fit for their theater company, their audience, their theater in general. And they will work with the playwright. If, for example, it's a new play, this person will work with the playwright in trying to bring that play up to the best possible version for production. This person is called the literary manager. And their responsibility is finding plays, shaping them, and making them production worthy. Um, Now, very close to that role with the theater of literary manager is dramaturg, the dramaturg. They serve much the same responsibility or play the same role. Dramaturgs are researchers. Dramaturgs are fact finders, question answerers. They are available ideally throughout the production process so that or the rehearsal, production, performance, they are present to answer questions, to advise, to uh, research it, and then provide kind of uh, a literary statement about the play that could eventually be published somewhere or printed in the playbill. They're the fact driver. They are assuring the quality of the play that is being ensuring rather the quality of the play that's being performed by the theater company. So that's playwriting, dramaturgy in a nutshell. You might wonder how playwrights make money. If that playwright is submitted, is successful, and it's produced, and there is some response to it, some buzz. Sometimes these playwrights are fortunate enough to be picked up by a publisher who will represent the play and the playwright in their catalog of plays. If I am a literary manager, I'm working for a theater, and I'm looking for plays for the theater, I will go to the publisher's catalog of plays and find a play that I feel might be a good fit for my theater. I contact the publisher. I go through the process of acquiring the rights to perform the play. Theater companies have to have the permission of the publisher to perform the play. You provide information to the publisher. For example, you will say, I am an amateur community theater. I will be performing 8 performances of the play in the theater, which seats 125 people. My average ticket cost will be $20. They take that information and then give you a royalty fee. This is the amount of money you have to pay each time you perform the play. Each performance is usually somewhere around $125, $150. This is for a non-musical play. And the theater company must pay, if they are certain that they're going to do that play, they must pay the entire royalty fee for those 8 performances at $150. You can do the math. They have to pay that upfront even before they announce that they are going to do the play next March. They have to pay for it. This is a protection for the playwright, basically. Their play will not be produced without some sort of legal arrangement. And eventually, the play is produced, the money is paid to the publisher. The playwright then gets a portion of that royalty. And every time that play is produced all over the world, the theater company will pay the royalty and the playwright will get a percentage. That's how playwrights make money. Successful plays are, or plays that are produced frequently, are very good for playwrights, of course. Um, Consider plays that are produced annually, popular Christmas plays. Sumter Little Theater produced the best Christmas pageant ever while I was director there at least 10 times. And we're not the only theater that does it. Theaters all over the world produce that play. So Barbara Robinson, the playwright, after, say, like the end of the Christmas season, maybe around March, February, she probably gets a very substantial residual check for the money that has been paid through royalties, of which she gets a percentage. I'm going to end there. I'll be right back.